Hello and welcome back to the Job Sports Reports channel. Today I thought I'd do a quick Premier League prediction video on who I think will finish where. What I decided to do, instead of doing the whole 20 teams, I'm just going to predict who is going to get relegated, who's going to get the Europa League places, who's going to get the Champions League places, and who is going to ultimately win the Premier League at the end of the season. We're going to start off with who I think is going to get relegated. I found this, I wouldn't say easier, but I think there's definitely a few teams that a lot of people are already predicting are going down. I'm going to start off with 20th place, and I'm going to go Cardiff. I've had a look at their signings, and all of them are from the Championship. There's very, very little Premier League experience in that squad. They could do Huddersfield. No one expected Huddersfield to even go up to the Premier League, let alone stay there after the campaign they had last season, securing survival after a 1-1 draw at Stamford Bridge. But Neil Warnock, I don't think he's going to last that long. I think their squad itself is too poor to be a Premier League team. You look what the other Championship clubs that got promoted last season have done, the likes of Wolves and Fulham. Granted, Wolves may have, they seem to have more money than Cardiff would, but for me, Cardiff haven't done enough. They were looking at a few loan signings, including Marko Grujic. But for me, I think it's going to be one season and then see you bye-bye. They're going back down to the Championship. So I'm predicting Cardiff to finish last. The other two spots, I think, are going to be clubs who many people would have predicted to go down last season. And I think they're going to suffer second season syndrome and go back down to the Championship. My two picks to join Cardiff are Huddersfield and Brighton. Both have done exceptionally well to get where they are, but I think, again, neither side has really shown enough in the transfer window to warrant a place in the Premier League. Like I said, you look at Wolves and Fulham. Fulham signed Jean-Michel Seri, Alexander Mitrovic, Andre Schürrle. Wolves have gone outside Rui Patricio, Jean Moutinho. I think they've done enough to maybe even warrant a top half finish. Maybe Wolves or Fulham, I think, could really push for a top half finish this season. While Brighton and Huddersfield, I think their time is going to run out this season. Many people would predict maybe Bournemouth or Watford. I don't think Watford have done enough either, especially losing Richarlison. I think they'll be struggling this season, but I think not enough quality in either Huddersfield or Brighton sides, and I predict them to join Cardiff in being relegated at the end of the season. I just wanted to get that out of the way first. Obviously, mid-table, it's basically a who's who of like Palace, Newcastle, Southampton. Just take your pick which order. There's going to be a few points between them by the end of the season, so I wouldn't be surprised if I picked like Palace to be 12th and they finish 10th, or Newcastle to be 11th and they be 13th. It's mid-table is always very difficult to predict. So I think let's just get to the fun bit and predict who I think will finish in the Europa League, Champions League, and ultimately who's going to finish first. In 6th, I'm going to go from 6th to 1st. In 6th, I'm going to go with Arsenal. I think this season is just going to be a rebuilding season for them. Obviously, the first season without Arsene Wenger in well over 2 decades, and I think it's going to take some time for Unai Emery to get his philosophy across to the players. They've done well, I think, in the transfer window. Bernd Leno, Socrates, Lichtsteiner, Torreira, I think they're all very, very good signings. Taking into the fact that it looks like they're going to be playing with 2 up front this season, which would be Aubameyang and Lacazette, so they could be very, very dangerous this season, Arsenal. But I think it'll be a bit of time before they reach the Champions League. They need to. I think compared to like, you see, I was gonna say compared to like the other big clubs, they haven't done that much. I think they've done more than anyone else, but it's whether Unai Emery can really put his philosophy across to the players this season will remain to be seen. So I'm going to predict Arsenal to finish 6th. In 5th, I am going to say Chelsea. I think they'll just miss out on the top 4. It's been a bit of a mess, Chelsea, this summer. Obviously, there was the whole, is Conte going to leave? And obviously, he has left now. Sarri's come in from Napoli. He's brought Jorginho with him. Very, very good signing. Obviously, Manchester City were looking at him as well. They were also looking at Mateo Kovacic City before the whole debacle of Thibaut Courtois came around, and apparently Mateo Kovacic is going to be moving to Chelsea as part of a deal that will see Courtois go to Real Madrid. And of course, Chelsea are now going to sign the Athletic Bilbao keeper Kepa, who apparently released himself from his £72 million release clause contract at Athletic Bilbao. It's going to be a tough season, I think, for Chelsea. There's still a chance that Hazard may leave. There's still a chance that Conte may leave. Willian staying is very, very big for them because I think he's been one of their better players over the last few seasons. But I think it's so difficult. But I think Chelsea will just miss out on a place in the Champions League. In 4th, just about getting there, I'm gonna say Manchester United. I think it all depends on if Pogba stays. If Pogba stays, I think they get top 4 because I think we'll be seeing more of the attacking side of Paul Pogba this season. Obviously, with the signing of Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk, there have been rumours that Fred will play a little bit more deeper, which will allow Pogba to express himself more in that Manchester United team. Marcus Rashford's now been given the number 10 shirt. He's going to be more pivotal for them next season. I think he's been massively underused, not just by United, but by England as well. I think he was criminally underused by England at the World Cup. So many people wanting him to start above Raheem Sterling, and when you look at what he can do, I think that's justified. Obviously, Raheem Sterling had a brilliant season last year, but I think Marcus Rashford has got so much more about him. His pace, his finishing may need to improve, but I think give him a good run of games, and I think he could do well for Manchester United. If Pogba stays, I'm going to say Manchester United will finish in the top 4. If Pogba goes, because obviously there's a day or so left in the English transfer window, but I think the Spanish transfer window lasts until the 31st of August. So there's still a chance, even after the English window closes, that Paul Pogba could still move to Barcelona. But we'll see. For the moment, I'm going to say Manchester United just about reach the Champions League for this season. In 3rd, I'm going to go with... Now, this is the one where I was a little bit skeptical because I picked Spurs to finish 3rd. I think they have got enough quality about them to be in the Champions League places this season. Obviously, there's just been a lot of rumours going around that they're after Jack Grealish of Aston Villa. Now, that's looking unlikely, even though Jack himself wants to join Spurs. They have enough quality about them. It's just a case of what's really the limit of this Tottenham team. Because if Harry Kane gets injured, they don't really have anyone to bag 15, 20 goals in that position. Apart from Kane, obviously, you have the likes of Ali, Eriksson, Son, and obviously Lucas Moore, who was signed in January. It's a difficult one because I think with the signing of Jack Grealish, I think they could cement 3rd. I think he is that good. But it's so tough to call. Prediction videos are the worst thing to do because you end up looking like an absolute numpty if they get it wrong. But I think Tottenham will have enough about them to finish in the Champions League places. Whether United have a stronger squad, to be fair, for me, from 3rd to 6th is the most difficult to choose this season because Tottenham haven't really strengthened, even though their squad is that good. Man United have strengthened their squad kind of, but obviously they have the factor of Mourinho, who just plays the most mind-numbing football you're ever likely to see. Chelsea and Arsenal are under new management, so we don't know how that's going to go off. Obviously, Chelsea are very, very inconsistent with their league places. They go from 1st to 10th, and then 10th to 1st, and then 1st to 6th. You know, it's very it's you don't know what you're going to get with them, and neither with Arsenal this season. So I think from third to sixth is the most difficult to predict. In now top two, second place, I'm going to go with Liverpool. I think they are the main threats to City's title this season. I think they've done brilliantly in the transfer window. Alisson is a magnificent signing for them. Add in Fabinho and Keita in the middle of the field and the absolute bargain of Xherdan Shaqiri plus the front three that they have already. I think it'd be disappointing for Liverpool this season if they don't go and win a trophy, because now it's come to that point for Jurgen Klopp where, yes, Liverpool are playing magnificent football, yes, the signings are there, but he's still yet to win a trophy, and it always seems to be that they crumble whenever they get to that high pressure situation. I think they will challenge City. I think it'll be a little bit closer than it was last season. Obviously, City blew everyone out of the park. But I think City themselves, I think City will win the league. Obviously, adding Riyad Mahrez to the mix just makes them even more, I wouldn't say unstoppable, but even more difficult to beat than they were already. They haven't really needed to strengthen that much, have they? Obviously, they've been looking at Jorginho. They were close to signing him before he signed for Chelsea. They were looking at Mateo Kovacic as well. I think they were after like Mario Lemina as well from Southampton. But their squad itself is just unreal. I had a look at, there was a post on a Facebook page where they compared Manchester City's A team to their B team. And even their B team could knock off about 14, 15 teams from the Premier League. So I think Liverpool will run them closer, but I think City will have enough about them to win back-to-back titles for the first time. I think it's been over a decade now. People have been saying since the team has won back-to-back Premier League titles, and I think City will have enough about them this season to win the league. So just to recap, I think Arsenal 6th, Chelsea 5th, United 4th, Tottenham 3rd, Liverpool 2nd, and City to win the title. Those are my Premier League predictions for the 2018-2019 season. Where do you think I've gone wrong? Leave a comment down below with your predictions as well. Leave a like and subscribe. It'll mean an absolute, it'd be brilliant to get this channel up and running for the new season. I will hopefully be able to do a Premier League prediction video for this weekend's fixtures as well. So hopefully I'll be able to get that out to you. But until then, this has been Job Sports Reports, and I'll see you in the next video.